Starting off this terrifying list in at number 10 with the OG clown Ronald McDonald. I'm sorry, but this had to be said. Ronald McDonald's is beyond creepy. His makeup is just so damn terrifying and he's so damn tall. Okay, just listen to this. He enjoys hanging out with children when parents aren't looking. I mean, his main goal in life is to sell unhealthy hamburgers to children. Is this how you want your kids to be eating every single day? He wears a creepy yellow jumpsuit which makes him look like a psychotic man who just finished mopping up a bloody crime scene with bleach. No thanks, Ronald McDonald. I'm eating at frickin' Wendy's. Our next red-nosed clown is Zeebo, and he makes it onto our list at number 9. Clowns have obviously been the product of some serious nightmares, and Zeebo from Are You Afraid of the Dark definitely helped create some of these nightmares. In an episode, a jerk kid steals Zeebo's cigar, which is apparently a big no-no because the ghost of Zeebo haunted this kid and demanded that he return his cigar. Zeebo made items move in his room, made creepy phone calls, and even caused some spaghetti to explode. I guess this episode was trying to teach kids not to steal, but I think they're also scaring kids in the process. Up next, in at number 8, we have the Bicycle Clown. This group of horrifying clowns appeared in the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is supposed to be a children's movie, right? No, wrong. Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of children and some adults have sleepless nights because these clowns look pretty terrifying. I mean, look at my face. I'm not that terrifying, am I? I mean, no, that is not okay. I don't like the idea of clowns running towards me. I mean, I'm a freaking clown myself, and we don't do well together. Clown Dolls jumps in at number 7. This doll will haunt your nightmares. Just look at this thing. If you've seen the 1982 horror movie Poltergeist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This creepy looking clown doll had one main purpose. It was used as a distraction so the other ghosts could abduct the child. There's even one point in the film where the clown grabs onto the little boy's face, drags him under the bed, and tries to choke him to death. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna own my own clown doll. Terrorizing in at number 6 is Captain Spaulding. This creepy clown character was first introduced in the House of 1000 Corpse, and his main purpose was to get innocent people killed by a murderous family that lived in the area. He was the owner of Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madmen, which attracted tourists from all over the country. He would use this attraction as a way to bait people into coming into the area where they would eventually be murdered. His motives are pretty terrifying, but so is his costume and makeup. I mean, if you saw this clown at the entrance of a museum, I'd get in my car, drive away, and never look back. But that's just me. Twisty scares us in at number 5. Twisty is a terrifying clown. I'm even terrified of him. He's in the American Horror Story who wears a creepy prosthetic mask to cover up his disfigured jaw. To top it all off, he kidnaps children and ends up accidentally murdering all of his victims. Twisty's debut on the show terrified the viewers as he would rip out the tongues of his victims and use their bodies as marionettes. If that's not scary, I don't know what is. Martin Vlad Ivanek beats his way into number 4. He was a drummer in a band called The Core of Your Own Nightmare, and he was the only one who would regularly wear clown makeup. Well, it turns out he had a sadistic side to him because he was kicked out of the band after he was charged with producing and sharing child pornography. Federal investigators discovered that he has been taking inappropriate pictures of himself engaging in sexual acts with a child. If he is convicted, he will face up to 30 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Well, I'm pretty sure he will be convicted because the evidence is pretty undeniable. Things get even more disturbing in at number 3 with Klutzo the Clown. This is a pretty disturbing story about a man named Amon Paul Carlock, who was a former law enforcement officer, juvenile counselor, and a minister at a church who was charged with possessing child pornography and traveling to engage in sexual contact with a minor. He would also perform locally as Klutzo the Clown, and he would advertise himself as available for vacation, Bible schools, children's crusades, Sunday school, children's church, and church parties. He did this as a ploy to get close to children and film them as they played. I mean, this is just so gross and terrifying at the same time. You just can't trust people people anymore with your kids. And now I mean Pennywiser, I make this damn list. I mean, god damn it, I'm in at number 2. How do people know about me? Well, I'm pretty confident that it is the reason why most people have an extreme phobia of clowns. It's because of me. I am the ruler of all beings. It was portrayed as a shape-shifting and evil entity that doesn't have a gender or solid identity, so that's why it's called it. But when it came to Earth to feed its favorite disguise was a colorful circus clown named Pennywise. I was able to attract children, so I would just capture them and kill them and then devour them. I shouldn't be revealing any of this. I was able to capture anyone I chose, but I like those innocent children, and I would easily lure them in with candy in those sewage drains. Finally, at the number 1 spot, we have John Wayne Gacy. You think all of those fictional clowns were scary? You think I'm scary? Well, John Wayne Gacy is a real-life killer clown who murdered 33 people during his 6-year reign of terror. He was a rapist and a torturer who would dress up as a clown and perform at charity events. His clown costume would make it easier for him to lure his young victims into his home, where he would trick them into wearing handcuffs and violate them. After he was done with his violence and gruesome torturing, he would murder them and bury them in his home crawl space. Thankfully, he was executed by lethal injection, so he doesn't have a chance to attack again. And lucky for you guys, I'm just a fictional character.
Number 10, we have a truly horrifying clown sighting from Quebec in Canada. It is a chainsaw clown. 2 of my least favorite words together in a sentence. Some guys are driving along, doing their thing, chatting away en français, when a clown in a boiler suit and black wellies pops out of the shadows. After a quick standoff, the clown walks away and we're all like, phew, that was close. But then the clown is back, and this time he's yielding a chainsaw. The only thing that is actually kind of amusing is that he can't get his chainsaw started right away. Other than that, he eventually does get it started, but luckily these guys have done some serious reversing by that point.
Alright, moving on to number 9 now, we have the Leaning Clown from Florida. Now this video was uploaded by Joel Franco, who was also driving down a dark country road when he saw this terrifying clown with red hair and a very uncomfortable looking lean. The end of the clip proves that these clowns are very scary because this one doesn't even run at them, and the men still get very scared and run away as quick as they can. Good, I would too.
In at number 8, we have what can only be described as the 12 camera clown. So what better way to capture a clown on camera than to capture it on 12? Now I don't know why this person had 12 security cameras and no lock on their back garden fence. Either way, this video is coming to us from Texas, USA, and it is an absolute creep fest. At first we see a clown holding a knife trying to open a front door. It then goes by the garage and through a gate into the back garden, all the while still wielding a knife. Stabby the clown then tries the back door to no avail. The video ends as he walks back towards the garage. So Danny, what would you do if you had like a CCTV machine / video camera and you were checking your footage back in the morning and you saw a creepy clown with a knife all up in your property's grill?
Move house.
Yeah?
I wouldn't even sell it, I'd just burn the place down.
What if it found you though?
It would never find me. Can't find me if I killed myself.
God, don't do that.
Alright, coming in at the number 7 spot now, we have the Cornfield Clown. This video was originally uploaded by a guy called Carter Waldron, a student at Indiana University, who had heard with his friends about a clown on the outskirts of town running around a cornfield. Classic. When they arrive, one of his friends jumps out to take a closer look. But check this bit out, guys. Take a look in the wing mirror as they finally spot the clown. Oh my god, Trevor!
Like, Trevor just probably needs to man the F up. In at number 6, we have a machete-wielding menace. Why are they always holding knives, chainsaws, or machetes? They just need to be stopped. Posted on Facebook by Alex Rulas, this video comes from Sparks in Nevada. So some guys are driving when they spot a clown. Same story, different day. They pull up in a car park near a field and find the clown. The clown stands there in a white mask and hat, holding a machete and being weirdly still. The commentary is actually pretty hilarious. The guy is like, a machete? Nah, I'm out, dude. fair comments all around.
Alright, next up at number 5 now, we have the Lancashire Clown. It's not just North America that has been getting these visits too. Paul Quinn, a man from Lancashire, England, caught this clown standing in the streetlight outside of his home. He can't stop laughing at it for some reason, maybe he's just scared, as his mum hurls verbal abuse at it. Maybe that's the secret to defeating these clowns. Just keep swearing at them. It seems to work because eventually this one does slink back off into the night.
I don't like the thought of a clown slinking. Next up at number 4, a clown I like even less, we have the Knock Knock Clown. Danny, do I seriously have to do any more of these? I am terrified and I want it to stop. So this clown was spotted in Topeka in Kansas and was shared online by the Twitter account Clown Sightings, which sadly is now a thing. So this clown has been caught on CCTV outside someone's house loitering with, you guessed it, a machete, because apparently that is standard clown fare. The clown then spots the camera and smiles at it like bleh. The hilarious thing about this less than hilarious killer clown is he actually kinda looks like the clown version of every guy I've ever dated with his hipster hair and beard. What does this mean?
Coming in at the number 3 spot now, we have the Car Wash Clown. Now this video was uploaded by a guy called Chris from Boston. So, we know that clowns like dark roads and fields so far, but did you also know they like hanging out in car washes too? What is going on there? The guy filming this manages to last just a few more seconds longer, but when the clown starts to tilt its head and does this creepy little wave, they do what anyone else would do and just get out of there. The head tilt.
Like, I feel you, Danny. What is going on with the head tilt? Why so many? Can't clowns just creep you out with straight heads? I don't know. And at number 2, scariest still, we have the Pumpkin Smash Clown. I do not like the sound of this. Actually, Danny, can you please come back because I don't want to do this one on my own. Back. Danny is here for moral support. Stop it! You're not supposed to freak out. So this is another unwelcome doorstep clown, and this one comes bearing balloons. After giving it the old sideways creepy head, he then lets the balloons float away, turning his attention to a pumpkin that he pulverizes with his bare hands. Like, why?
Waste of a pumpkin.
I know! Also, guess what he wants to do with your head?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My head's a pumpkin.
Your head is a pumpkin.
That's
and he's
rude.
going to smash it.
And finally now, we have reached number 1 and we have free hugs.
I don't think I'm gonna like the sound of this.
The title is terrifying. So Rebecca and I put this at number 1 because simply nothing comes close to it in terms of creepiness. The costume looks way too legit. He's carrying balloons in one hand and a sign in the other asking if you want free hugs. Yes, you. I think he might mean that kind of hug where, you know, he stabs people to death.
Oh god!
That kind of hug. And I think you'll agree that he doesn't mean the normal kind of hug when you see this. I would like to say that's that. I'd like to say we're done, but we're probably not. We're probably not done with creepy clowns. And the truth is, even as we film this, there are still sightings of clowns going on around the world. Maybe there's one nearby.
No, stop that. Please stop that. When are the unicorn sightings just gonna come rolling in thick and fast and we can just make the top 10 fields of rainbows and joy and Skittles? Because I really like those.
Okay, starting off this list, number 10 is Chicago's Homie the Clown. There had been a ton of rumors about a clown who would lure children into his white van near schools. So many people in Chicago began to believe that these rumors were actually true. And some of them even reported seeing Homie the Clown to the police, but he was never caught. According to this urban legend, Homie was a kidnapper, a rapist who enjoyed dressing in a clown costume because he wanted children to trust him. Homie was always nearby, and you couldn't walk home without seeing this creepy white van following you home. Because of this urban legend, so many parents took time off work to pick up their children from school because they didn't want them to be abducted and murdered by Homie the Clown. Ronald McDonald Dolls peeps into number 9. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Ronald McDonald is a creepy looking doll, and I would never want to meet him in real life. But according to this story, a man and his wife were driving on a deserted road in the middle of nowhere when they saw something really terrifying. In the middle of the streets, they saw dozens of creepy looking Ronald McDonald dolls scattered. This incident took place around midnight, and apparently this is a very popular scheme used by gangs, abductors, and rapists to lure women out of their cars. house. Strangely enough, all of these dolls disappeared the next morning without a trace. I'm pretty sure if I was a woman and I saw these creepy dolls on the road, I would definitely not be getting out of that car. I mean, are you kidding me? If anything, I'd be putting my foot on the gas pedal and I would get myself out of there because something is about to go down. A clown armed with a gun fires into number 8. There are a bunch of stories about a crazed maniac dressed like a clown who would knock on people's doors. He would be carrying a bouquet of flowers and 2 silver balloons, so surely you would want to open the door for him. Or would you? Once you open the door, he would shoot you point blank in the forehead with a 38 caliber revolver. This clown doesn't seem too friendly, does he? Well, once this urban legends gained popularity, a real life copycat murderer decided to try this out for himself. The mystery of this crazed killer clown remains a mystery to this day. Number 7, we have the clown doll. There is a very scary looking doll named Vincent Hitchcock, who is said to be possessed by the spirit of a child. A woman from Oregon first discovered the scary doll in an online auction, and she collects these creepy things, so she added this doll to her collection for $500. I mean, you can't be serious here. Shortly after she placed Vincent in a corner of the room, she began to experience some strange things around her home. Sometimes the clown would be in different positions, or he would actually go missing. Other times Vincent would blink his eyes and watch her as she slept. She left a tape recorder next to him, and when she went to listen to it, she heard, "I'm going to kill you." I mean, is this real life right now? Well, if I was in this situation, first off, I would not try to record it because I don't want to be freaked out and know what it says. And I would for sure get this clown. I would put a bowling ball, I would tie it around him and drop him in a river. And this river has to be like other side of the world. The scary clown statue haunts us in at number 5. This creepy urban legend goes something like this. A teenage girl was babysitting for a family one night. The parents had a huge collection of clown memorabilia, statues, and figurines, so they decided to put all of their clown things into one room. Okay, this story's already freaking me out because why do people have memorabilias of just so many clowns? So after the parents left, the children and the babysitter were playing in the clown room. A lot of these clowns were just statues and some were even life-size. There was one creepy clown that was sitting in the rocking chair and the babysitter felt as though his eyes were following her as she moved around the room. It's probably because it is. It's probably because there's someone in there. So someone's under the mask. Well, she called the parents and asked them to see if she can move the clown from the rocking chair, you know, to another room, maybe in a closet, maybe in the basement, lock the door, you know what I'm saying? So because this clown was scaring the kids, the parents said, get out of the house immediately, go to the neighbor's house because that may not be a fake clown, it might be actually somebody. Well, frightening and confused, the babysitter grabbed the kids, ran to the neighbor's house. The parents later explained that they were being stalked by a mentally ill man for quite some time, and he really wanted to hurt this family. One time he even snuck into their house and tried to kidnap the children, but luckily they failed. And now this time he dressed up in a clown costume, painted his face, and waited patiently until he had the opportunity to kill them. So this has just become a crazy story because the babysitter was thinking that it was a fake clown on the rocking chair, but that was actually a real man waiting for his opportunity to kill you. Next up, number 4, we have the Zozobie, the stinky clown. This urban legend focuses on the true story of Frederick Zozobie, who was a clown that tragically committed suicide. But legends has it that his ghost remains on Earth haunting people, and also innocent children. A pair of brothers woke up in the middle of the night because they heard an extremely creepy laughter. Once they opened their eyes, they saw a tall man dressed in a one-piece maroon suit and a painted-on clown face standing in their doorway. If that's not scary enough, the clown moved closer to their beds, and his face had a crooked nose, hollow black eyes, and heavy clown makeup. His ghost is said to be extremely evil, and if you look in his eyes, you will die. Oh, and you can tell it's the ghost of Zozobie because he leaves a terrible odor behind that smells like embalming fluid. Okay, I'm not sure what embalming fluid smells like, but let's just go with it that it smells pretty bad. Creepy clowns hiding in the woods is next up at number 3. According to this urban legend, a mother returns home from work and her youngest son said that he has seen a bunch of clowns whispering in the woods near their apartment complex. He said that he can hear them laughing and they were trying to get him into the woods to play with them. Initially, the mother just brushes this off and blames it on his wild imagination, but later that night, her oldest son said that he heard chains rattling and banging on the front door. And when he looked through the peephole, he saw a white painted face with a big red nose and devil looking eyes. Apparently a lot of local children went missing in this area because the killer clown in the woods convinced them all to play with them. That's probably one lesson I'm teaching my kid. As soon as my kid is born, I'm gonna be like, listen, you see a clown, you run the other way. Now at number 2, the Phantom Clown. In this urban legends, clowns are driving in vans that are painted in either black or blue, and they are known to abduct and murder children in the neighborhood. Most of these Phantom Clown rumors mostly circulated around young children, who have even claimed that they've seen these clown vans lurking near their schools or homes. Investigators couldn't find any evidence of killer clowns in vans who abducted children, so that's where the name Phantom Clown comes from. But those who have seen the vans with killer clowns inside have also seen them with swords, knives, and guns. And anyone who was brave enough to look inside of a van was never seen or heard from again. Pretty scary. And finally, we have made it to our number 1 spot. I think we've done it again. We've saved our best for last. Well, we have Pogo the Killer Clown. Have you heard of him? Well, in Chicago, Illinois, there was a charismatic man who was dressed up as Pogo the Clown. And he appears at charitable events such as fundraisers, parades, and children's parties. But he had a sinister agenda. He would lure children into his house with the promise of giving them candy, presents, or money. Once inside, he would abuse them both physically and mentally. He was an evil clown who sexually assaulted, tortured, and murdered at least 33 teenage boys and young men. He would then bury his victims in the crawl space of his home and continue to perform children's parties dressed as Pogo the Clown. This is a very scary urban legend. Well, does this urban legend sound familiar? What if I told you that this actually happened, and Pogo the Clown was actually John Wayne Gacy? So yeah, this killer clown really did exist until he was executed by lethal injection by 1994. This is exactly the reason why I don't trust clowns.